When a waitress served a quiet customer on what seemed like an ordinary afternoon, she didn't know her life was about to change. What he left behind, just a note and a tip, would spark a ripple far beyond the cafe's walls. This is more than just a story. It's a window into the enduring power of kindness, a moment where two lives intersected in the most unexpected way. What unfolds next is nothing short of extraordinary. The day began as any other, the soft hues of dawn casting a golden light over the small town. Dana, a waitress at the local café, stepped into her shift with her usual mix of determination and worry. Her uniform was neatly pressed, her apron tied with practiced precision, but her mind was a whirlwind of concerns. Rent was due in a few days, and her wallet, much like her spirits, felt alarmingly light. She tightened her ponytail, took a deep breath, and prepared for the day ahead. The cafe was her safe haven, a place where the rhythmic hum of the coffee machines and the scent of fresh pastries gave her a momentary escape from her struggles. By mid-morning, the usual rush had tapered off. Customers came and went, some offering smiles, others barely looking up from their phones. For Dana, every tip was more than just a gesture of gratitude. It was a lifeline. She prided herself on her work ethic, always delivering service with a genuine smile, even when her heart felt heavy. Behind that smile, however, lay the quiet resilience of someone carrying far more than anyone could see. But life, as it often does, had a surprise in store for her. Around noon, the gentle chime of the cafe's doorbell rang, drawing Dana's attention. She glanced up from wiping down a table, her practiced smile at the ready. A young man walked in, his presence commanding yet understated. He wasn't alone. Two men in sharp suits trailed behind him, their movements deliberate, their gazes scanning the room. Something about him seemed familiar, though Dana couldn't immediately place it. He carried himself with a quiet confidence, the kind that hinted at a life far removed from the simplicity of this small-town cafe. As he approached a corner table and took a seat, Dana's curiosity grew. There was something unmistakable about his demeanor, a subtle yet undeniable aura of recognition. It wasn't until she got closer, taking his order with her usual warm greeting, that realization struck her. This was Barron Trump, the youngest son of the former president. Her heart skipped a beat, a mixture of surprise and nerves settling in. Celebrities and public figures didn't often grace this modest cafe, and the encounter left her momentarily stunned. Barron's presence was unassuming, his manner polite but reserved. He ordered a coffee and a pastry, his voice calm and measured. Dana jotted down the order, her professionalism kicking in despite the questions swirling in her mind. Why was he here in this quiet town? Was it chance, or was there a purpose behind his visit? She didn't linger on these thoughts for long, focusing instead on preparing his order with care. As she placed the tray on his table, their interaction was brief but cordial. Barron offered a polite thank you, his words carrying an unexpected sincerity that stayed with her even as she returned to her tasks. Dana tried to keep her curiosity at bay, returning to her duties while stealing the occasional glance at the young man. He seemed deep in thought, his gaze occasionally drifting to the window. Time passed, and as he finished his meal, the moment that would forever change Dana's life unfolded. Barron stood, his movements unhurried, and carefully placed his receipt on the table. Adjusting his coat, he gave a final glance around the cafe before making his way to the door, his bodyguards trailing closely behind. Dana approached the table, expecting nothing more than a standard tip, but as her eyes fell upon the receipt, her breath caught in her throat. There, neatly written above the total, were 4 words that would resonate deeply. Stay strong. You matter. Alongside them was a tip so generous it almost didn't feel real. 4 digits, an amount that would make an immediate difference in her life. Tears welled up in Dana's eyes as she reread the note, her hands trembling, with a mix of gratitude and disbelief. It wasn't just the money, it was the gesture, the acknowledgement of her hard work and her worth. In that moment she felt truly seen, her struggles recognized by someone who had no obligation to care but chose to anyway. Dana carefully folded the note and tucked it into her pocket, her heart full in a way it hadn't been in a long time. That day she went home not only with the financial relief she desperately needed, but with a renewed sense of hope. The kindness of a stranger had given her a reason to believe in better days ahead. Yet this wasn't the end of the story. Word of Barron's gesture spread quickly, first through the small town and then far beyond. The story found its way onto social media, where it captured the hearts of countless people. The note and the tip became symbols of compassion, a reminder of the profound impact a single act of kindness can have. Strangers reached out to Dana, sharing their own stories of generosity and offering words of encouragement. What had started as a quiet moment in a small café had grown into something far greater, a movement of kindness and connection. For Dana, that day was transformative. It wasn't just the money or the recognition, it was the realization that even in her darkest moments she wasn't alone. Barron's gesture had reminded her of the goodness that exists in the world, a light in the midst of her struggles. For the rest of us, it's a story that challenges us to look around, to notice the invisible battles others are fighting, and to find ways, big or small, to lift them up. So what would you do if kindness came when you least expected it? Would you pay it forward? Would you let it inspire you to be a light in someone else's life? Dana's story is a testament to the fact that a single act of generosity can spark a ripple effect far beyond what we can imagine. And as you go about your day, remember this: kindness, no matter how small, has the power to change lives. Sometimes all it takes is 4 simple words to remind someone that they matter.